Hi, sweetie. So this is the Radiant Lotus Women's Qigong practice. I think I'm going to start from the beginning with the cupping and tapping routine, which is immediately followed by a self-massage routine. And basically, it's all to loosen up stagnations and the lymph and blood and start getting the qi moving. And then we imprint anew with visualizations and using the energy in our hands to kind of move things and to give ourselves nurturance, because the hands are an extension of the heart, right, as you know. So, yeah, I guess we can just go ahead and get started. Okay, so normally we just kind of try to get a grounded, centered, aligned feeling in this position, you know, where your feet feel kind of plugged in and you just rise up through the crown, right? We start out here just aligning, right, and taking in those energies. But the first thing we're going to do is take a cupped hand like this and just tap on the thymus. So most of these tapping happen for a minute. It's enough to wake up that particular gland or whatever. And as you know, the thymus makes killer T cells. And as we grow older, it tends to shrink. And as Daisy Lee used to put it, you know, this just kind of tells it, hey, wake up, you're under attack, start, you know, increasing in size or whatever. So this whole routine is really for immunity as much as anything. And it strengthens the energy in your body, which goes out into the field around you about a foot. And if you have a really strong, what they call Wei Qi field, the first line of pathogens just doesn't go through. And I can explain more about that. From here, we're just going to use a slightly cupped hand to go around the breast. So it's right hand on left breast. I don't go backwards. I mean, I can't change the, you know, do it the opposite. I get messed up halfway through. But we do this, we just pad lightly around the breast, avoiding the nipple. And once you've done 9 times, you go out to the side body and tap there, and then go up into the armpit. And then down the underside of the arm with this cupped hand, and you get every little inch. And then we come to the wrist. And we give the wrist a little extra. So in traditional Chinese medicine or in Taoist philosophy, they consider the pericardium as an organ. And as you know, the pericardium is the sac, the protective sac that the heart sits in. But in Chinese medicine, they see it as a organ that helps release the heat of the heart and becomes an important instrument for releasing emotions and also for generating qi or healing energy from the heart that goes out through your Lao Gung points. That's what energy healers use and Qigong masters use. So from here we go to all 5 fingers touching each other, and we clap for a minute, because the meridians in our body are connected to organs, and these meridians actually go, they go through the fingers, they go through the toes, the feet, they go through the head, all these different ways of moving in and out. And the energy meridians feed the organs, and so you want to keep them free and moving. And a lot of people, it's said that the connective tissue that holds everything together is a crystalline structure that acts as a semiconductor for energy, which is what these meridians are. So we're working on that as well, on that level, you know, trying to release anything that's like kind of moved, that fascia that could be holding on, and not allowing energy to flow. So from here, we go to the top of the same hand and go up. And this cupping motion actually creates a little concussion to the bones to help strengthen them, actually. And then we come around and we switch hands, and you just tap, and then you go out to the side and around the breast. 2, 3, 4. This releases, well, women hold trauma generally, large and small, in their breasts. Anytime you've had a lack of confidence in somebody who is, particularly close to you, or any sexual misunderstandings, things like that, they go into the reproductive organs and the breasts. Okay, and then out to the side body. This is Taoist philosophy, traditional Chinese medicine. That was named traditional Chinese medicine. After the Cultural Revolution, it wasn't called that before. So we do the same thing on the other side. And then we tap that wrist. So the original Qigong is over 5,000 years old. They actually saw a jade tablet or some drawings on there showing different movements that were actually prescribed to help move the qi, the prana in your body, so that you would have better physical results and more longevity and health. So it's interesting. And then herbology, they grew out of that because they could eat an herb and then tell what meridian it went to or what meridian line it activated. So then you have that whole amazing, deep, rich practice of herbology and Chinese medicine. And acupuncture as well grew out of that, all stimulating these pathways that help to clear them out and create good pranic, good qi flow. And the qi follows the blood as well. And the lymph, of course, is our biggest immune system, right? And so all of these things integrate and work together to create health. And so that's why this has been such a powerful practice for so many years, because it really does work. Let me do a minute. And then we go from here on top of that hand and come back up. And if you can't reach your back, then you can use your arm to lift up and give yourself a good pat on the back. And then we take our fingers into a bird's beak and we go to the lung 1 and lung 2 points out underneath the collarbone, out by the shoulders, and we tap on there. And the lungs are, I'm going to qualify everything as, traditional Chinese thought and health. But the lungs are where sadness, deep sadness is held. Normally, if the lungs are functioning and you're breathing really well and stuff, you're really inhaling and embracing life, But then we get sad for some reason, and if that sadness hangs out too long, it's just a normal part of the human experience. But if it hangs out too long, then you end up getting depression and you get respiratory issues. And people, they go, trying to get a deep breath. Well, that person's carrying a lot in their lungs and a lot of sadness. So this is a very powerful practice. And I can show you some emotional balancing techniques that go along with this practice as supplementary. That will help release deeper sadness. Okay, then into the collarbones in this space here, and then up along the sides of the neck and back down 3 times. We're tapping on the sides of the neck. And then you come up and you tap on either side of the ear. And we're touching upon, and we do this for a minute, So we're touching upon the gallbladder meridian, and the triple warmer. They see this meridian that travels from the respiratory circulatory system and connects it with the digestive system and the reproductive organs. So all of these things need to be functioning well for you to be able to have good health, but also to create a child in your womb. All of these things need to work together to create health. So there you go. From here we go in front of the ears and then up to the temples, down under the eyes, to the center brow and up and over the brows and down. We're going to do this 3 times. So one of the things, and then from the center here, we're going to go up and over that first ridge line. So one of the things I recommend is that you get a chart, a meridian chart, so that you can check and see what meridians you're tapping when you do this. And if you feel a sensitivity, then there's a blockage there, because any pain or sensitivity is a blockage of qi. So then you can decide, oh, well, around the ears. So let's say you're tapping, right here, and you go, ooh, that's tender. Well, you can look it up and say, oh, that's the stomach meridian or whatever. So just give this a little extra tapping in the back. So then, you can maybe connect that to maybe some digestive issues you've had recently. I really like to use it as a diagnostic tool. So, and when you do feel those sensitivities, you just give it extra tapping and try to move it on. Okay, to the lungs. Concentrate a lot on the lungs. I think my weakness in my life is sadness, right? So I've done a lot of work to release that. And this is one exercise that I really particularly like. So we inhale and exhale a few times deeply. And on the next inhale, we're going to do a ascending ah to really release deeply in the lungs. So here we go. And then it's hard to feel sad when you've done that. And when you do it with other people, it's hysterical, right? So now we go to the breast, again, because breast tissue and the breast tend to hold, they tend to hold traumas, however you see that. And so this kind of fluffing action just helps to release the stagnation there. The self-massage will help bring it into balance. And it's the same when we hit the reproductive organs. In your particular case, okay, so a minute, right? And then we go to the abdomen. So in your particular case, you don't really want to be banging on where you had surgery on the ovaries. You can just tap really lightly, or you can just rub it. But I'm going to tap all over, because once you're healthy, this is what you do. You just kind of wake everything up, the connective tissues that are holding the organs in place. We just want to wake everything up. And then we go into the groin, and we can step our legs apart and go into the groin, waking up all those lymph nodes there. Yeah, they're the lymph nodes that get pumped the most when we walk, and so it makes a lot of sense that that's where they are. And then from here, we get unapologetically wide, so that we can get into the labia on either side, and on either side of the vagina. Just tapping lightly. Again, we're releasing trauma from all of these different places, or just moving the chi. Keeping that going. Keeping the you know, all of this healthy, right? And then, yeah, after a minute or so, you're going to go down the inside of the leg and hit upon the meridians that are on the inside of the legs. We're going to go down and come around the back of the legs and go up to the back of the knees. So heavy metals actually settle in the lower part of the body. So it's good to, maybe you can do a full round of these 3 times, but we're only going to go halfway. And then I'm going to tell you about the stomach 36 point. Put your hands out here. It's in this divot on the side of your knees, and you can really pound on it. Stomach 36 is like the chicken soup of acupuncture points. Get that stomach channel really moving, the energy moving. And then from there we go back to the back of the knees and up to the hips. My mom used to have one of those belts that you put around here to shimmy everything to like lose weight. And I always think of that when I do this exercise. I think it's so funny. And then from there to the buttocks, just waking up everything. And then from there, we're going to tap on the kidneys, and we're going to use this part of our hand. I'm going to turn around to show. So you roll your shoulders back, and your elbows come up, and this part of your hand is just going to flop up. The wrists are just going to flop up against the kidneys. And we're going to add an ah to help release the energy in the kidneys. I'm going to tell you, we do this for a minute. If your arms or your shoulders start getting tight, that's counterproductive. So you just put your hands forward, allow them to go up on the inhale and exhale, and just swing them to loosen up that, because we want our chi to flow. We don't want to restrict it in any way. And then you go back to the kidneys. And the kidneys are where we house fear. It's no surprise that the adrenals that sit up on top of there, they produce cortisol and DHEA. So if we release the fear from our kidneys, we can create anti-aging hormones, right? And that's what we really want. So we tap for a minute, and then I'll just suggest that you go ahead and swing the arms and then from the back we come around, and we're going to pat the belly 100 times. So you don't do this yet, all right? And wait until you're completely healed. But this actually, sending a concussion into this part of our body really does wake everything up, and it helps with digestion as well, and elimination. So there is a board loose underneath my feet, and I can hear it, and you probably can too. It's pretty funny. But women in China can do this for 20 minutes a day. They think it makes their stomachs warmer, but I've never noticed any difference. But I really like it. I like the way it feels. And you can pump your heels up, you know, so that you're pumping that kidney 1 that's between the balls of the feet and the back of the balls of the feet. Yeah, and then it also helps sensitize your hands a little bit, so that when we go from here, after we've done 100, we're going to be gathering chi in our hands and bringing it into this womb center. You know, I call it lower dan chen, but you can think of it as your womb center, your center of creativity. And when everything's aligned, it's a place that you manifest your dreams from. So here we go. Inhale. And exhale and draw the chi into the womb space. Inhale, expanding out around you. Exhale, and gathering the chi and bringing it in. And last one, nice big inhale and gather up all of the chi and bring it in. And your hands come into a position called nurturing chi, where the webbing of the thumbs are together. And you just place that over your lower dan shen or your womb space. And just feel into the energy of your hands, really, and its connection to this part of your body. And generally, it should make you feel very grounded and secure. And part of security is just about trusting. And that's one thing we have not learned, is to trust ourselves and our self-healing capabilities. And so this is what this practice engenders, really, is empowering you in your own self-healing. And like I said, your hands are an extension of your heart, and you're giving yourself this. It's a really precious thing. So then rise up and bring the hands over the heart. And just allow the warmth of your hands to kind of melt away any tightness or stagnation or stickiness here. You know, all of our emotions go through the heart. Our heart does so much processing. And it's really what connects to our environment and informs our brain, and then the brain just sends out whatever it sends out, and then all of a sudden we're aware of it in our body. And that's so true with our emotions, you know, they're being registered around you. So this works really hard. And in Chinese philosophy, the heart is where all the emotions pass through, but it's also where Shen passes through. And your Shen has multiple levels of meaning, but it's like your source energy with your connection to whatever you want to call source energy for you. The love of the universe, or God, or whatever. And when it connects in your heart, it's also connecting with that force from the earth that has helped manifest us in our body. We're spirit and physical body, and so these are the energies that we're working with. So you just allow them to melt away anything that's, you know, any deep sadness, and just see it go down through your body and go into the earth. Just allow it to leave your body, and allow any frenetic energy, any worry. Just see it melting and going down into the earth through that kidney 1 point. And any frustrations or resentments, all that stuff damages us more than it does anybody else. So we just want to be functioning at the highest possible, so we need to release those things from our field. And then if there's anything unforgiven, right? Anything you haven't been able to forgive yourself for, or another, you know, feel into that and just say, okay, no more. I forgive myself. I accept myself, you know. And we're all doing the best we can with the level of consciousness that we have at the time. So this is our commitment to live conscious lives and do it better next time, right? And so just see it all melt away, just by your own loving hands and your own loving being and spirit. And then bring those hands down over the womb space 1 more time, and just emanate that beautiful chi deep into this space and all the way back into your kidneys, and release all fears, all self-doubt, and trust in your ability to heal what needs to be healed, to do whatever your heart desires, really, to create it. Because you're a magnificent creator, hugely, hugely empowered once you connect to your source energies and realize that's our true support in this life. And from here, the hands are going to go around inhaling up the right. We're moving into the self-massage and exhaling down the left. And we're going to do this 8 times, going inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I'm on my last one, going to 8. And then we inhale up the left-hand side in the other direction we go around. And we do 8 in the opposite direction to balance this energy. And when you're going clockwise, when you're going right to left, this is good for constipation and elimination as well. We have to go both ways to balance the energy. So when you go left to right, it actually helps with retaining moisture when you have diarrhea. It can really help with that. I've never experienced that because I rarely, if ever, can remember having diarrhea for more than just like a half a day or something, but blessed with good health. But it just feels really nurturing, right? Okay, let's call this 8. And then the palms come apart and go over the ovaries. And we're going to do 8 little massaging circles around the ovaries in one direction and 8 in the other. And just sending that warmth deep into this area. You know, when we self-massage like this, we're telling our body that we love it. And that's so important, you know, that allows our chi to flow, our prana to really express at its fullest when we feel fully relaxed and fully loved. And it's an inside job, no other way. Yeah, we can't get this from even our mothers. We can't get this from our partners. We can't get this from our children. It's us who give it to ourselves. That's the most lasting and most profound. It doesn't die, it doesn't leave you, it doesn't go away. This self-love. And it's one to be cultivated on a daily basis. So from here we go into the groin. Right? Massaging those lymph nodes. We get unapologetically wide to go down into the vagina area, labia. Generally, when I do circles or massage, I count to 8 or 9, 18, something like that. You can do it for a full-on minute. But I think it's all really important maybe to do it a minute. And then from here, we're going to go down the inside of the legs. And when you get to the knees, give them a little extra. Let's do 8 circles in each direction. They do so much work. We take them for granted. We gotta go, nice knees. I love you, knees. Let's change direction. 9 is the number for longevity, and 8 is infinity. And so I like to go infinity and beyond. I like affinity. I like 8. I think that's good. Because we are universal beings. Yeah, we never die. So it's infinity. So then we go down the inside of the legs, around the top of the feet and up the back of the legs. Give the back of the knees an extra little touch, right? A little love. And then rise up. Love those thighs. Love the buttocks. And then come to the kidneys on the back side. And we're emanating chi into those kidneys. And just doing little micro circles around them, massaging them. In the other direction. And then you're going to stack the hands on the sacrum, and you're going to do 8 circles around the sacrum in each direction. Dragonflies are flying in and out. I'm ready to change. And then the hands separate and come around the front. They come across the womb space and up the side body, across the top of the breast, and then they rise up the back of the head, and then the hands, palms facing the earth, they come down, and you rise the chi up and you bring it to your face. And before I show you, we're going to give ourselves a little chi massage, a little chi facial. And if your hands aren't warm, you should rub them, and then you'll feel it. But we just cup them. And we go up the right hand side of the face and down. And again, 8. I'm on 7, so let's make this 8. And then the opposite direction. And then we're going to give the eyes a little extra attention. So again, rub your hands, make sure they're nice and warm. And we're going to cup them over our eyes, and you leave your eyes open. And we're just going to emanate that chi deep into the eyes. And we'll probably do it, just take maybe 8 breaths, something like that. And the breath is always deep, slow, gentle, and smooth. In through the nose, down the back of the throat to fill up the womb center first. And only fill up 70%. Don't top off. Very important, because when you top off, you rise your shoulders up and you go into sympathetic mode as opposed to parasympathetic mode. You can do this for a minute. You can make this practice your own. Then you rise the hands up, interlace the fingers over the ba wei point, which is really right above your ears, right there. And you're going to just do little circles around the ba wei point. I once had a workshop on memory retention and all the rest of it in Qigong. This guy was teaching it. I think he was taught psychology at a university level, but at any rate, we do 8 circles around. But this was actually one of them that he taught. And he said that it really does help with memory retention, and it helps clear and calm the mind, so that of course you will have better memory retention and you will have a clearer mind, more calm mind. And when you're done with your 8, the palms face up, and you really reach up and stretch along the intercostals and unlace the fingers, and the hands face the ground, and you come down on the exhale. And you can put your hands on your kidneys and just do 8 circles in each direction with your hips. And make them a little, curvy but not too big. Right? Just moving the pelvic bones around, getting a little movement with the lower back. But there's also a point, the Li Yin point, in the center of the perineum where we take up energy from the earth. And there's a central channel that runs, it's actually, they're thinking it's the vagus nerve in the enteric nervous system that this is really connected to. But it takes up the energy from the earth, and then we bring down the energy of the cosmos, and that they meet, right? So it's all about cultivating those connections. So I switched, I wasn't counting, but I switched. It felt about right. And 8. So the hands drop down, release into the earth, rise the hands up the inside of the legs, and just out to the sides. Shift your weight and step in with your feet under your hip sockets. Come into nurturing chi. And we're going to end this section right here. Bow to the ancient masters who gave us Qigong. All right.